by his inability to admit he'd tried to shortcut the solution and failed, by his prioritization of ego over service. In relationships, there's often an expectation that you'll go easier on your partner in public, that you'll save criticisms for private moments, that you'll protect their image even when they're wrong. But that expectation has limits. It doesn't extend to accepting poor service and paying for it. It doesn't mean pretending something is right when it's clearly wrong. It doesn't mean sacrificing your legitimate needs to manage their insecurity. He wanted her to be the cool girlfriend who doesn't complain, who makes things easy, who protects his reputation even at the cost of her own experience. But being a supportive partner doesn't mean being a silent one. It means expecting your partner to do their job well. And when they don't, it means expecting them to fix it, not expecting you to pretend everything's fine. So here's what you have to decide. Was she wrong to point out the food was incorrect? Should she have just eaten the wrong order to avoid embarrassing her boyfriend at work? When someone makes a mistake and you're expected to accept it silently to protect their image, who's really causing the problem? And if pointing out that you didn't receive what you ordered is causing a scene, what does it take to be allowed to complain? Where do you draw the line between supporting your partner and accepting poor treatment? Because she thought the line was at eating food she didn't order and paying for it. But apparently, that made her difficult. She ordered a Caesar tortilla, waited 45 minutes, got a Caesar salad instead. Her boyfriend works there as a pastry chef, said he'd fix it. Came back with the salad stuffed into a tortilla, the same salad, with the crispy breadcrumbs still inside. She pointed it out. He told her to just eat it, that she was being difficult, in front of his co-workers, in the restaurant where he works. She didn't eat it, said it wasn't what she ordered, that she shouldn't have to pay for something made wrong. He got embarrassed, started saying she was causing a scene, making him look bad at work. His manager got involved, other staff were watching, and by the time they left he was furious. Said she'd humiliated him, ruined his reputation, made him look incompetent in front of people he has to work with every day, because she wouldn't just accept the wrong order and stay quiet. This isn't a story about food. It's about what happens when you're expected to accept poor treatment to protect someone else's image. When pointing out a mistake becomes causing a scene because the person who made the mistake is more worried about looking bad than making it right. And when your reasonable expectation of getting what you paid for is reframed as you being difficult, demanding, and embarrassing. It's about the specific dynamic where your valid complaint gets turned into your character flaw. She's 22. Her boyfriend is 23. He works as a pastry chef at a restaurant. They decided to go there for dinner, his workplace, a place where he has relationships with co-workers, a professional environment for him, a normal dinner out for her. She ordered a Caesar tortilla, not complicated, a menu item, something the kitchen makes regularly. 45 minutes passed. That's a long wait for any dish, long enough to wonder if they forgot, long enough to get genuinely hungry past the point of comfortable waiting. The food arrived. It was a Caesar salad, not a Caesar tortilla, just a salad, on a plate. She pointed it out to the server. "This isn't what I ordered." The server checked the ticket, confirmed the mistake, took it back. Her boyfriend works there. He saw the issue, told her he'd handle it, that he'd go to the kitchen personally and make sure she got the right thing. A few minutes later, he came back with a plate, a tortilla. She felt relieved. Finally. But something was wrong immediately. The texture looked off. She opened it to check. It was the salad. The same Caesar salad, stuffed into the tortilla. The crispy breadcrumbs were inside, the romaine lettuce torn and shoved in, the dressing making the tortilla soggy. It wasn't a Caesar tortilla. It was a Caesar salad poorly repackaged. She looked at him. "This is just the salad in a tortilla." He nodded. "Yeah, I fixed it." "But it's not a Caesar tortilla. It's a Caesar salad stuffed in bread. The breadcrumbs are still in there." He looked annoyed. "It's the same ingredients." "It's not the same thing. A Caesar tortilla isn't made like this. This is just, you put the wrong dish into a tortilla shell. His voice dropped, quiet but tense. Can you just eat it? Please? She didn't understand the tone. I waited 45 minutes, then got the wrong thing. Now you're giving me the wrong thing again, just in a different shape. I shouldn't have to pay for this. You're making a scene. She wasn't making a scene. Her voice was normal, conversational. She was just explaining that what she received wasn't what she ordered, but other staff members were starting to glance over. His co-workers, people he works with every day, and he was getting more uncomfortable by the second. Just eat it. It's fine. It's not fine. I ordered a specific thing. This isn't it. His manager walked over, asked if there was a problem. She explained calmly. Ordered a Caesar tortilla, got a salad, then got the salad stuffed into a tortilla instead of an actual Caesar tortilla being made. The manager looked at the plate, looked at her boyfriend. There was clearly a mistake. Either the kitchen didn't know how to make a Caesar tortilla, or her boyfriend had taken a shortcut to avoid admitting he couldn't fix it properly. The manager offered to remake it. Actually remake it. But by then, her boyfriend was visibly agitated. His face was red. He was embarrassed. Not because of the food, because she'd pointed out the problem in front of his colleagues. Here's what was actually happening. Her boyfriend had tried to solve the problem quickly without understanding what the problem was. He'd seen Caesar salad and tortilla and assumed putting one inside the other would work. When it didn't work, when she pointed out that it wasn't what she ordered, he got defensive, because admitting he'd done it wrong meant looking incompetent, and looking incompetent in front of coworkers felt worse to him than her eating food she didn't order. So he reframed her complaint as the problem. She was making a scene. She was being difficult. She should just eat it, because making him look bad at work was worse than her receiving incorrect food. But she wasn't making him look bad. The incorrect food was making him look bad. Her pointing it out was just making the incompetence visible. If a random customer had received the same wrong order and complained, it would be normal, expected, part of restaurant service. Mistakes happen. You fix them. But because she was his girlfriend, different rules applied. She was supposed to accept the mistake silently, to protect his image, to prioritize his comfort over her reasonable expectation of receiving what she paid for. When she didn't do that, he made it about her behavior instead of the actual problem. The manager remade the dish, a proper Caesar tortilla, made correctly. It took 10 minutes. Her boyfriend barely spoke to her for the rest of the meal. His body language was closed off, angry. When they left, he exploded. In the car, said she'd humiliated him, made him look like an idiot in front of people he has to work with every day, that she should have just accepted what he brought her and not made it a big deal. She tried to explain. She'd waited 45 minutes, got the wrong thing twice, had every right to expect the correct order. He didn't want to hear it. Said it wasn't about the food. It was about her making him look bad, about her not supporting him, about her prioritizing a stupid tortilla over his reputation. But it wasn't about a stupid tortilla. It was about him prioritizing his ego over her legitimate complaint. She asked, "If I was just a regular customer, would you have expected me to eat the wrong food and not say anything?" He didn't answer that directly. Said it was different because she knew him, because she knew how important his work reputation was, because she should have been on his side. But being on his side didn't mean accepting poor service. It meant expecting him to do his job correctly. And when he didn't, it meant expecting the restaurant to fix it, like they would for any other customer. His embarrassment was about his own mistake, not about her pointing it out. If he'd just said, "You're right, let me get them to remake it properly," instead of trying to pass off a shortcut as a solution, none of the embarrassment would have happened. He didn't speak to her for 2 days, texted eventually, said she owed him an apology, that she'd caused a scene at his workplace and damaged his professional relationships. She asked what scene she'd caused. She'd spoken normally. hadn't raised her voice, hadn't been rude, had simply pointed out that the food was wrong. He said the scene was making him look bad, that everyone at work now thought he couldn't handle a simple request from his girlfriend, that they probably thought she was difficult and demanding, but she wasn't difficult. The food was wrong. Twice. Some of their mutual friends sided with him, said she should have just eaten it, that it's not that serious, that making your partner look bad at their workplace is a relationship violation, that she could have addressed it privately later instead of in front of his coworkers. But addressing it privately later wouldn't have gotten her the correct food. And why should she have to eat something wrong and pay for it just to protect his ego? Others understood, said a restaurant customer has the right to receive what they ordered, that her being his girlfriend doesn't erase that right, that his embarrassment was his own fault for not handling the situation professionally. She paid for the meal, the correctly made one. He never offered to comp it, even though she'd waited over an hour total and received wrong items twice. The relationship didn't recover. Not because of the tortilla, because of what the tortilla revealed. That he valued his image over her experience, that her legitimate needs were less important than him looking good, that she was expected to accept poor treatment silently when speaking up might embarrass him. This story is about the weaponization of causing a scene, the way legitimate complaints get reframed as social violations when the person being complained about has more to lose from the complaint being visible. If she'd been a stranger, the complaint would have been normal. The kitchen made a mistake. A customer pointed it out. The restaurant fixed it. Standard service recovery. But because she was his girlfriend, her complaint became a betrayal. She was supposed to protect his reputation by accepting poor service. Her needs were supposed to be secondary to his professional image. The phrase causing a scene is a silencing tactic. It shifts focus from the legitimate problem to the person pointing out the problem. It suggests that speaking up is worse than the thing being spoken up about. But she didn't cause a scene. She made a normal complaint in a normal voice about a normal mistake. The scene was caused by his defensiveness,